My name is Emily Carter, whose name has been changed. I am a simple girl who loves quiet evenings. Every day, after work, I have a habit of walking around the neighborhood for exercise and relaxation. In my neighborhood in Memphis, Tennessee, there is a small park located along the bank of the Mississippi River. This park has winding paved paths, crossing green lawns and ancient trees. In the evening, when the sun sets, the air here is very fresh and peaceful. The faint yellow streetlights shine down on the path, creating a rather poetic scene. The gentle sound of the Mississippi River flowing, the chirping of insects, create a quiet soundtrack. I love walking on this riverside path. It brings me a sense of comfort and peace after a day of work. Although it's evening, this path still has people walking, though not too crowded. The peaceful evening trail, along the bank of the Mississippi River, has become an indispensable part of my daily life. I have no reason to be afraid when walking here. It is a familiar place, a place where I feel safe. However, there is something about this trail, especially when night falls completely, that carries a little bit of mystery. The vastness and silent flow of the Mississippi River always make me feel as if something is hidden beneath the dark water. On a summer evening in 2023, I walked on the Riverside Trail as usual. Sunset had completely faded. The streetlights were on. The air was cool and pleasant. I walked slowly, breathing in the fresh air, listening to the sounds of the night and the river. The peaceful evening trail, the silent river flowing, and I didn't know that tonight, that peace was about to be broken by something horrifying. I continued walking along the Mississippi Riverside Trail. Night had completely fallen. The streetlights illuminated sections of the path, but there were still blurry dark areas between the poles. I walked past the stone benches along the path, where people usually sat to rest or enjoy the river view. Most of the benches were empty. As I reached a specific point on the path, a slightly more secluded section, where there was a stone bench under a large tree, suddenly, I felt something unusual. A sudden cold draft enveloped me. That cold was very different from the surrounding air. It was bone-chilling, as if piercing my bones. At the same time, I felt as if someone was looking at me. A very strong feeling of being watched, coming from behind my back. My heart suddenly beat faster. I stopped. That cold was very real. That feeling of being watched was very real. I looked around. There was no one nearby. Only I was standing alone on the deserted path. I tried to be rational. Perhaps it was just a draft? Perhaps it was just a fleeting feeling? But that cold was too sudden, too deep, and the feeling of being watched was too strong. I felt as if an invisible gaze was fixed on my back. Unease rose within me. I knew something wasn't normal here. Right at this point on the trail. This is the stopping point of fear. I stood there for a moment, hesitating. My instinct told me to turn around and go straight home. But I was also a little curious. What caused this sudden cold? Who was looking at me? I took a deep breath, trying to gather all my courage. I slowly turned around, turned towards the direction from which I felt watched, turned towards the stone bench under the large tree. And then, I saw a horrifying sight, an image I will never forget in my life. I slowly turned around, looking towards the stone bench under the large tree. The streetlight dimly illuminated that area. And then, I saw, on the stone bench, there was a man sitting. But, not a normal man. I only saw the upper half of his body. His lower half, from the waist down, did not exist. It looked as if the lower part of his body had been severed, or had completely disappeared. He sat on the stone bench, as if his lower half was submerged in the bench, or in the air. His figure looked blurry, translucent, as if made of mist or faint light, but the shape of his upper body was very clear. He wore old, dark clothes. And his face, he looked straight at me. His eyes, deep black, hollow eyes, no pupils, just two dark, deep sockets. Those eyes stared intently at me, full of emptiness, full of suffering, and a little bit of fear. He didn't say anything, didn't move, just sat there, on the stone bench, with half a body, looking straight at me with those deep black, hollow eyes. I froze. My heart pounded in my chest, as if it would burst out. My gasping for breath echoed in the silence of the night. Half a body on the stone bench. Hollow black eyes staring straight at me. Absolute terror enveloped me. That was a ghost. The ghost of a man. And he was missing his lower half. That image was too horrifying. Too terrifying. It went beyond anything I had ever imagined. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. But it was real. He still sat there, silent, staring at me. Those hollow black eyes seemed to pierce straight into my soul. I felt as if I was being sucked into those eyes. Into his emptiness. Fear made me unable to move. I just stood there, staring at the ghost on the stone bench. Half a body on the stone bench. Hollow black eyes. That was the stopping point of fear. And that was the horrifying truth hidden on my peaceful trail. I stood there, facing the ghost of the man with half a body on the stone bench. Frozen by fear. His hollow black eyes were fixed on me. Unmoving. For a moment, I couldn't think of anything. Only absolute terror. The ghost remained silent. Only the terrifying eyes seemed to move, following me. Then, survival instinct kicked in. I suddenly regained consciousness. This is real. This is terrifying. I have to run. I let out a small scream. A scream full of fear and panic. I turned around and started running. Running as fast as I could. Running along the riverside trail. Running back in the direction I came from. I didn't dare turn my head back to look. I was afraid that if I turned back, I would see that ghost chasing me. Or worse, standing right behind my back. The sound of my shoes hitting the paved path was loud in the silence of the night. My gasping for breath was also very loud. I ran at full speed. Without stopping. My heart was pounding like crazy. My whole body was trembling uncontrollably. The peaceful evening trail had now become the devil's path. I ran past trees, other stone benches, all looking terrifying under the streetlights. I felt as if the sudden cold from earlier was still clinging to me. The feeling of being watched was still there. As if those hollow black eyes were still fixed on my back. I ran until my lungs burned. My legs ached. Just ran away from the terrifying ghost. I ran until I was out of the Riverside Park area. Ran out to the neighborhood with more houses and lights. I stopped, leaning against a streetlight pole. Gasping for breath. My whole body was still trembling. I looked back towards the Riverside Park. That area was shrouded in darkness. I didn't see anything, but I knew he was still there. The ghost of the man with half a body. Still sitting on the stone bench. The panic-stricken escape was successful. I had gotten away from him. But the fear could not be escaped. The image of him with those hollow black eyes, half a body sitting on the stone bench, will forever haunt me. The Riverside Trail will never be a peaceful path again. It has become the devil's path. And I will never dare to walk on that path at night again. After the horrifying night, I saw the ghost of the man with half a body on the park bench. My life changed completely. That fear haunted me constantly. That terrifying image kept replaying in my mind. Especially at night, I no longer dared to walk on that Riverside Trail. Although I had walked there for a long time, it was a familiar part of my life. But now, just thinking about it sent shivers down my spine. I changed my walking route. I walked on other streets in the neighborhood. Although they were not as beautiful as the Riverside path, at least I felt safer. Even if it meant taking a longer detour, I preferred it to facing the possibility of seeing that ghost again. However, the fear did not let go of me. Even when I wasn't near the Riverside Park, I still felt as if someone was watching me. Sometimes, I would suddenly feel an unusual cold draft. Exactly like the cold I felt when I saw him. Nightmares about the ghost on the stone bench tormented me. In my dreams, I saw myself walking on that path, reaching the stopping point of fear, and seeing him sitting on the stone bench, staring at me with those hollow black eyes. I woke up in fear, my heart pounding. The haunted path, fear that does not let go. I knew that ghost was probably bound to that specific location, to that stone bench, but its terror had deeply affected me. I tried to find out about the history of the Riverside Park, about the specific area where I saw him, searching for old newspaper articles, local stories. I found some information. This park has been here for quite a while, and a few unpleasant incidents have happened there or nearby. There was a story about a tragic accident that happened on the Mississippi River near the park many years ago, involving a boat. The details were vague, but it seemed to involve someone missing or seriously injured. Perhaps that accident was related to the ghost I saw. Perhaps that man was a victim of that accident, and he lost his lower body in the accident. And now, his spirit is trapped in that place. Reliving the horrifying moment, thinking about that, I felt both fear and pity. The path haunted by an old tragedy. Fear that does not let go of me. It has become a part of my life. I know that I will never be able to walk on that Riverside Trail peacefully at night again. It is haunted. The encounter with the ghost of the man with half a body on the Mississippi Riverside Park bench became the greatest haunting of my life. The image of him, those hollow black eyes, the missing lower body, all were deeply etched in my mind. The river's terrifying truth. It seems that the Mississippi River and this Riverside Park area hide more secrets and tragedies than I thought. The tragic accident on the river, causing a man to lose his lower body, created the terrifying ghost I saw. His spirit is trapped in the place where he died, perhaps right at that spot on the trail, where he found a stone bench to sit on in his eternal realm. I don't dare walk on that Riverside Trail anymore. Just thinking about it sends shivers down my spine. I always choose other routes, safer ones. However, the haunting from the Mississippi does not let go of me. Every time I see the river, or every time I pass by the park area from a distance, I feel his presence, the sudden cold feeling, the feeling of being watched. This fear has changed me. I am no longer the carefree girl I used to be. I have become more anxious, more aware of my surroundings. especially in secluded places or near water at night. The river's terrifying truth is real. There are tragedies that happen there. And those tragedies leave scars not only on the land, but also on the unseen realm. The ghost on the park bench. Half a body. Hollow black eyes. He is still there. And he will always be there. Reliving his painful existence. Haunting from the Mississippi will always follow me. I know that in this world, there are things that we cannot explain. Things that are terrifying and tragic. My story is a warning. Be careful with peaceful, familiar places, especially places near water and with mysterious histories. You never know what is hiding there, waiting to be seen. If you enjoyed these true horror stories, or stories based on accounts and unexplained mysteries, like this, don't forget to hit the subscribe button on the channel to follow our latest videos. We will bring you more terrifying and haunting stories. Thank you for listening.